Hello, mutants. I'm Utisha the Movie Goddess, and you're watching Mutant TV.
Enchanté and bienvenue, mutants. Welcome back. Streebo here with you from mutantville.com. You know, where else? I thought it'd been a little while since I've given you a regular vlog update, and it's been quite a while since I've given you a sneak peek at my collection. In particular, my DVD, Blu-ray, and VHS collection. So I thought, well, in the spirit of our recent videos about collecting VHS and this and that, I thought I'd give you a short glimpse at the variety of movies in my collection, and it's quite a range, if I do say so myself. I have about 10 shelves here in the house containing various movies, DVDs, VHS, what have you. I'm going to try to show you about 4 or 5 of them. They're not all optimally located for showing on camera. One, because they're not that well lit, or perhaps the room is absolute utter mess, so I can't take you guys in there on YouTube. But I'm gonna just give you kind of an overview and give you an idea of how I organize things, because it's kind of strange. I don't know, it's my own method, but it's how my brain works. I think it works maybe a little bit more sideways to just the standard collector, and I don't mean that in any kind of pretentious way, but I mean that in just a goofy way, and that as a creative person, we kind of look at these things differently. I like to be surrounded by things that inspire me, or things that I love or enjoy, or things that challenge me intellectually, or what have you, which is why you can see a lot of my autographs up behind me. And this is just over my desk, so there's nothing more I love. I love nothing more than just sitting, working on a script, and when I have those moments and I need some extra energy, I can just look up and, draw inspiration from everything around me. So part of that comes from my collection, and all these movies I own for one reason or another, whether they're classics, cult classics, or just something I loved as a kid, or something that I've heard about that I want to check out. So let's see what I'm talking about. Okay, here's our first stop. I figured I'd start here because this section is still under construction. I'm not entirely certain what it's supposed to be. At one point it was the history of horror, or the sources of horror, the origins of horror, what have you. So you can see the signed Romero Night of the Living Dead poster up there, and I've still got some Corman stuff here, but it's not just horror. It's exploitation and horror hidden behind Enter the 36 Chamber Shaolin. It's not a particularly good movie, but it does have Gordon Liu, and it has that cool VHS cover. And you can see my Shang-Chi, The Fly. Here's The Punisher. So it's kind of a weird mix. I'm losing my focus here. The section is not very well lit. These are some of the more, the second tier of better kung fu movies from the 70s. Tom Savini's signature. Oops, losing my focus again. There's just not enough light over here. Town That Dreaded Sundown VHS, and that's in front of like part of my foreign section, so I don't know exactly what all this is supposed to represent. I'm still working on it. There's a pretty bad Ghost Rider figure. Clive Barker's Aberrat. But directly beneath this is actually all very well organized. This is my documentary collection. I'm not going to be able to sit here and read out what each and every one is. You see it gets darker as I go over there. Cursory glance of the titles in my documentary shelf. Oh, here's some favorites. Ooh, losing my focus. Just not enough light. Art of Action, not quite Hollywood. That's Clive Barker's A to Z. Never released on VHS or DVD or anything in any format. That aired once in the UK. I got it from a very cool dude over there. Grant Morrison's Talking with Gods, Bruce Lee and Kung Fu Mania, so on and so forth. So, but one thing to understand about this is that several of these are 2 and 3 shelves deep. Like there's 2 rows of VHS behind this, and these are all filled with 6 and 8 hours worth of documentary recordings or behind the scenes or the making of some particular films, or you know, just some kind of show about filmmaking, whether it's the directors or inside the actor's studio or what have you. And this is interesting. I found this. I'm not sure how it wound up this way, but I've got a little stack of tickets here. That's for Friday the 13th Part 3, a one-night only screening in 3D in Boone. Shout out to my buddy JD Reaper, who was there with me. Iron Man 1, 1408, Hostel 2, sorry for the shadow there, whoops, no, Faster Pussycat Kill Kill, do not fall, that's my old bootleg of Faster Pussycat, by the way. Freddy vs. Jason, check that out. Went to see that with Johnny Brento from MVP. This is when we had just launched MVP that year. That's right. A decade of mutant insanity. Okay guys, this section's not very well lit, so I'm just going to give you a sneak peek, but it doesn't have any DVDs or Blu-rays or VHS. It's actually my books, but you can see how I arrange the figures in front of them. There's Nosferatu, the Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon in front of Lovecraft, William S. Burroughs, Harlan Ellison. You know, this is the Stephen King shelf up here with Ozzy out front as the wolf. You know, all these, I either love the book or I love the cover or just something. I usually have these particular editions because I like the cover, like that Pet Sematary cover, for example. And there's my Otis from House of a Thousand Corpses I scored at the Phantom Fest, Fright Night Film Fest, just last month. Trying to figure out where to place them. Everybody has their place. Here you can see the thing on top of the Lament configuration, also known as the box from Hellraiser. That's Rasputin next to him. Count Orlok, Nosferatu. Alright guys, this next section I'm not going to get into much detail about because if I do, you guys will just start thinking I'm crazy. There's some of my magazine collection. This is near my writing desk. Just whenever I need inspiration, I just seek it out. It's part of my Starlog score, by the way, from Phantom Fest, for those of you keeping score. Okay, here's the shelf. This is too deep, so I'm not going to show you everything behind it, but up front, this is actually one of my writing tools. I call this the Wheel Beyond Good and Evil. It's kind of in chronological order. Conan, Wolverine, Sherlock Holmes, The Prestige, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, Indiana Jones. I can't read over all these for you guys, but chronological order, good. See here. Superman, the superheroes. And evil, Dracula, Rasputin, Dead Birds from Hell, get into Cthulhu, Wolfman mythos of the 20th century, Godzilla, get into the crazy zombie stuff, Italian stuff. This is all kind of chronological order in here. The whole time you've got their opposition and good directly underneath. Avengers, this is all the order of appearance of these characters, or the release date of the movies. There's the 70s from Billy Jack, Swamp Thing, Blade. This is all the 70s. Up to the 80s, there's Watchmen, the ultimate cut, by the way. The only way to watch that movie. Eliminators, Millennium. Here we go, getting to the today, Fringe. All the way down to Star Wars. And you flip up. You know, up here on the bad shelf, like I said, I'm talking too much about this already. You guys are going to think I'm crazy. Plus, I don't want to give away all my nutty methods. But I'm trying to plot the course of the apocalypse up here. You have kind of this, the rise of the dystopia through here, especially Terminator, V for Vendetta. And then you have these apocalypse-causing events down here. In the Mouth of Madness, Masters of Horror, about a movie that causes the end of the world. You got The Mist, which predates The Stand. This is all while the apocalypse is going on. Cairo, Walking Dead, that part of the apocalypse manifests as zombies. And then boom, you've got the post-apocalypse. Mad Max, Cyborg, Children of Men, Planet of the Apes in the far-flung future. And then when it all comes back, The Matrix, all the way down to Versus, if you know what that's about, which is just over another Doctor Who we saw down here. Doctor Who. Okay, this next shelf is out in my living room. This is the one you'll see when you come in. This shelf is all entirely classics or cult classics, again in chronological order. Because I used to have everything separated where I just had all my horror films in one section, all my superhero movies in another section, and what have you. So here you go, chronological order. Kind of see how things unfold. Bride of Frankenstein, The Wizard of Oz, Robin Hood. Hitchcock in here. Just all kinds of stuff. Like you see Rashomon here. Now here you see a good mix of the media that I have here, because I really don't care what medium it's on. You know, there are some movies I definitely just want to have on Blu-ray nowadays, but you know, I've just had to buy these over the years in whatever format they were released, and I haven't replaced them all yet. So you'll see stuff like Rashomon in VHS or what have you, just because I don't have it in a different format. Right here, Casablanca in Blu-ray, the first modern Hollywood movie by some standards. Duck Soup, the Marx Brothers. So it just depends on what I'm working on in terms of a script. If I get to a part where I need some comedic inspiration, then boom, I go right up here. And there's a weird kind of ripple effect. There's some Bava for you, mixed in with Orson Welles. Let's not forget John Wayne. I've got all kinds of genres. Pretty much everything except romance stuff, though. I have Breakfast at Tiffany's, so what can I say? Right next to The Hustler and Jason and the Argonauts. Roger Corman's X, The Man with the X-Ray Eyes, Good, the Bad, the Ugly, Planet of the Vampires, all this stuff. But here, you see where it ends? Boom, Stanley Kubrick's 2001. That was a astronomical leap forward in filmmaking. So you'll see these things pop up again and again on these shelves. And we pick up right here, Easy Rider, leap forward for independent films, right? So we pick up through the 70s. There's Star Wars, my preferred version on VHS. Plus, I love this cover. This is not a... No, I think this is a Roger Castell cover, who you'll remember that I met at the recent Mad Monster Party. Now, you'll notice... Oh, Lord, I've got to use both hands to stick that back on the shelf, so you guys will have to forgive me there. You'll notice these kind of bricks stacked between. Again, these shelves are all too deep. So there's a whole row down there, row up here. I've just got stuff stacked. I try to match it by era as best as I can. Like these Cronenberg flicks go to this time period, but Altered and Slither don't, and The Last Starfighter should really be down there in the 80s. But you just run out of space. More Cronenberg stuff, Guillermo del Toro. But this is all chronological. It's all chronological. It's part of the wheel. Here's another comedy, Animal House. Get into the Kung Fu stuff over here. Sorry, I'm losing my focus there, guys. 36 Chamber Shaolin, 5 Deadly Venoms. 5 Deadly Venom on Blu-ray, by the way. Check that bad boy out. All the way down here to the advent of the 80s. Star Trek, The Octagon, Caligula, Alien. Still waiting for the day the exploited cinema guys invite me on and let me program the show, because I think we'll do a Warriors and Caligula double feature. How does that sound? Let's go down here to the 80s. You can see some more stuff. The in-between bricks. I've just got a mix of stuff. There's the triad of 80s vampire flicks and Near Dark, Arrested Development, Dave Chappelle, Tales from the Crypt. It's all the bricks. We get back down here to the timeline, the beginning of the 80s. We've got The Empire Strikes Back. Kind of sets the tone for science fiction for the entire decade, or next 2 decades, or what have you. Return to the 36 Chamber of Shaolin. Got The Changeling, Mad Max on Blu-ray. Check that bad boy out. Kagamusha, Caddyshack, and there's comedy. So the cool thing that happens here, here I'll show it to you, is Oh, might have moved it. No, there it is. Shogun Assassin down here, 1980, which is literally the Americanized version of Lone Wolf and Cub. Back up here, 1972. So you can see this kind of ripple effect through there. And Lone Wolf and Cub comes after Yojimbo, which should be, well, Yojimbo's supposed to be right here. I had to take it out because it's VHS and it was just taking up too much space. But otherwise, you would see how that relates to The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Fistful of Dollars right here. Yojimbo would be down here. Samurai movies, kung fu movies. You see kind of an iteration of kung fu pop up in here, because right after Fistful of Dollars you've got One-Armed Swordsman from China, Bonnie and Clyde, Dirty Dozen. So just classic stuff. Night of the Living Dead, Planet of the Apes. And you got the 90s down here. Groundhog Day, Tombstone, GoldenEye. That's the beginning of the Pierce Brosnan Bond era. We'll notice I didn't mention it, but I do have other Bonds hidden in here, because Bond was always very cool to me. It's actually hard for me to pick out all the movies while I'm looking through the camera, but if I don't look through the camera, I'm not gonna be able to keep the darn everything framed up. Well, anyway, you guys get the idea. Oh, I might as well, if I don't show you the bottom shelf, somebody will freak out. So I'll show you the New Millennium. Spider-Man. There's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon in there. Rules of Attraction. See, to me, some of these are just cult classics, while others are undeniable classics. Kill Bill 1 and 2, Shaun of the Dead, House of a Thousand Corpses, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Mirror Mask, Hot Fuzz, Iron Man. Oh, too dark down there, but Drive. You'll also see Prometheus and Looper down in there. So yeah, screw you haters. Alright, that's pretty much everything but my cartoon shelf, which is in chronological order with all kinds of crazy stuff. But here's my fantasy shelf, which somehow correlates again into samurai flicks, which in turn turn into Chinese action flicks. So got VHS, DVD, got the cat trying to walk in front of the camera, and these are all mostly chronological order. Move, girl. I'm sure everybody would love to see you, but you know, we'll block this right now. Right there, you can see the you can see Wong Fei Hong. You can see the rise of Chen Zhen in here with the Fist of Legend, all that stuff. The move towards modern times here. Chuck Norris makes an appearance, of course, and up here in the modern day, Kill Bill, which is one of my favorites. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you want a more detailed look at any one of these shelves, and maybe I'll shoot that for you one day. And of course, visit us at mutantville.com. Subscribe to the MVP blog. I also just created my own personal Streebo newsletter this week, so if you want more information straight from the horse's mouth or the horse's ASS, depending on who you ask, sign up for it. All right, see you next time.